Before we start, we wanted to let you know that this presentation is brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. The presentation is protected by U.S. and international copyright laws. Reproduction, distribution, display, and use of the presentation without written permission of the speaker is prohibited. And now, if you're ready, let's jump into Color Mix Forecast 2020, a year of color and balance.
Be present. Be positive. Be immersed in the colors of a well-lived, joyful life. In this harmonious world, created by 45 exceptional colors that, when invited into our spaces, can elevate lives and bring us closer to happiness, inspiration, and well-being. Welcome to 2020, the year of color in balance.
Welcome to our presentation of Color Mix Forecast 2020. This season, we're going to explore color and balance. We'll celebrate 45 distinct hues that have been curated into 5 collections, colors that bring us closer to happiness, inspiration, and well-being. You might recognize the color mix icon as a mandala. Loosely translated, mandala means circle. It represents wholeness and reminds us of our relationship to the world that extends both beyond and within our bodies and minds. 2020 is an empowering year of change that focuses on bringing your best self into the new decade. The next 10 years pave the way for wellness of the mind, body, and soul. Each of the 5 palettes are represented with their own mandala and present a unique viewpoint into concepts of well-being and design. For Alive, we are celebrating everything that makes life wondrous. In Mantra, we take time to notice the beauty and simplicity, the serene moments that balance the spirit and the mind. In Play, jump wholeheartedly into happiness, taking time to laugh out loud and not take this crazy life so serious. Haven welcomes all the good things to come, the sanctuaries we create and the important materials that we surround ourselves with. Finally, Heart embraces harmony. Wherever you go, whoever you're with, no matter the journey, our humanity is really what life is all about. So now we want to dive into the exploration of each palette. We'll start with Alive. Be present, be positive, and relish the moments of this amazing life. Enjoy it in an authentic space touched by a palette whose colors keep company. Here, nurturing neutrals are artfully arranged with rich blues and a deep, ripe olive, evoking a satisfying and rejuvenating sense of community and living well. Color Mix Forecast 2020 will explore specific influences for each color story. These key insights are the guiding force that provides insights into where color is moving. Influences can be figurative as well as literal. They can be ideas, art and culture, events, fashion, or even behaviors. For Alive, the influences are optimism, authenticity, globalization, and new local. In 2020, we will embrace the optimism of intergenerational perspectives and a world where our emotional needs cannot be fulfilled by a smartphone. In many regions, the future is young. Africa, India, and Brazil are experiencing a wave of optimism that will result in an era of political and social change. Meanwhile, in the U.S., Europe, and parts of Asia, Gen X and boomers are leading corporate change to fix wider social problems, from healthcare to housing. The takeaway? Whether we're growing up or growing great, we need all ages to achieve global wisdom. Authenticity is becoming an increasingly major factor in decision-making. With content overload and digital news cycles driving a polarizing political climate, our taste and trust levels are changing. We will seek out the genuine, the crafted, and clean, pure living. Globalization embraces the things that connect us, with a focus on supporting both local and global communities. There is a focus on natural material sources, with lifestyles and interiors embracing homemaking and the craft of design. This global tradition celebrates the revival of homely pieces such as crocheted doilies, cross-stitched patterns, or embroidered cloths. We'll see MIY, or made it yourself, rise in priority as people invest time and energy in domestic skills and low-impact living. New Local looks at the growing need to live local, to reestablish what brings people together, what makes a community, and celebrate the values that unite rather than divide. Communities like Serenbe in southwest Georgia are thriving from this need to reconnect. Each of Serenbe's hamlets have a commercial center focused on the elements of a well-lived life: arts for inspiration, agriculture for nourishment, health and well-being, and education for awareness. This new localism won't be focused on patriotism. It will be focused on building local economies and communities. Every dollar spent locally is a dollar of wealth retained in the community. Color 2020 is a deeper dive into color. This is a new section of the Color Mix Forecast where we'll learn about each curated palette and then key directional colors that will feature prominently in design for 2020 and into 2021. The Alive palette. Navy, deep green, and saturated terracottas are the base for a palette that is inspired by locally sourced materials, heritage craft, and mindful living. In 2020, deep greens offer an alternative to black or navy. Alive presents a warm and comforting palette, drawing inspiration from the rich hues of the natural landscape, ranging from leafy greens to pigmented clays and soft aquatic blues. The Key Color Report focuses on one particular hue or color family that will have high visibility in design for 2020 and beyond. This specific color view can be featured in surface, fabric, carpeting, furniture, or any design element. Alive's key color is navy. Preppy, nautical, and timeless, yet always on trend, navy blue is the rare color that pairs well with others, can be used as a neutral or an accent to lend any indoor or outdoor space a classic look. Heritage blues are essential in 2020. From navy to denim and sky, blue's importance in home interiors is prevailing, and navy is having a moment. For 2020, look to navy for walls, cabinets, furniture, accessories, lighting, and appliances. For 21, go modern and energetic with navy. Navy blue contrasts well with bright colors, leaving a room feeling fresh. We're featuring another new section in Color Mix 2020 titled Stories. Here we'll take a closer look at the designers, artists, architects, and creators that are working today and epitomize the essence of each palette. For Alive, we'll look at the Community Seed Exchange, Nude Shopping, Imogene and Willie, and the Tatter Textile Library. What is seed sharing? In the United States, we've lost approximately 90% of our fruit and vegetable varieties. Preserving the diversity of crops is important to our future food security, especially in the face of changing climate. A gathering like this helps keep biodiversity alive, and it also nurtures community. To take part in a similar gathering in your area, search online or inquire at local nurseries. Today's farm-to-table food culture has a dark secret. The local food movement has failed to change how we eat. Chef Dan Barber offers a radical new way of thinking about food that will heal the land and taste great too. Barber points to a future third plate, a new form of American eating where good farming and good food intersect. Zero waste is a huge topic as we enter 2020, and the elimination of plastic is at the forefront of conservation efforts. From nude shopping to ocean-friendly restaurants, the plastic revolution has begun. When a New Zealand supermarket chain ditched plastic packaging, sales jumped an impressive 300%, beginning the wave of plastic-free markets across the globe. Plastic pollution is suffocating our oceans. Researchers estimate that there are now over 5.25 trillion pieces of plastic in the ocean, with the number continuing to grow every day. The Surfrider Foundation's Ocean Friendly Restaurants, or OFRs, Address the problem head-on, one restaurant, one customer at a time, by eliminating plastics, increasing awareness, and ultimately driving changes in behavior. Owners Carrie and Matt Edmondson decided to start their business in 2004 after an influential trip to New York City. Thus began Imogene and Willie. The brand was named in honor of grandparents on both sides of the family, representing how family, especially grandparents, shape who you are as a child and support you as you grow. Carrie's family has been in the textile and denim industry for over 20 years. Their goal, like most brands in our denim market, was to provide a pair of strong, well-fitting jeans for their customers. They worked toward that goal by sourcing American materials, woven on antique looms, and a basic fit designed as if each jean was tailored to its wearer. Just as its name promises, Blue, the Tatter Textile Library, is saturated in large swaths of cerulean and sapphire. Japanese indigo fabric is draped over cabinetry. Spools of azure silk thread stand in a row. The shelves are lined with more than 4,000 books and crafting journals, all carefully kept and cataloged. Open to the public by appointment, the library, which is tucked into a modern mixed-use building, is the brainchild of Jordana Monk Martin, an artist, patron of the arts, and lifelong fabric enthusiast. Anything you want to know about the history or making of textiles around the world, we probably have it, she says, beaming behind her cobalt glasses. This is an image from Martin's studio, where she hosts crafting workshops and makes her own art. Surface and materials. Here we'll report back on the key materials and surfaces for Alive. Traditional techniques are celebrated. Stitched, chiseled, cut, stained, oxidized, and woven surfaces offer a sense of time-worn and authentic craft. Natural, homegrown, organic, and biodegradable materials drive innovative products. Key finishes. Alive adopts a practical material mood with familiar textures, simple shapes, homespun surface, and warm color. Key materials. A return to simplicity in products and materials defines this modern, crafted look. Key shapes. Curvy retro shapes are exaggerated yet refined for a contemporary twist. Much like our key color report, we see one particular material emerge in each palette as the key material direction for 2020. Leather-bound. Leathers shy away from mass production towards more artisanal techniques, showing the mark of the hand and offering unique surface options. Traditional shapes get a contemporary twist with leather detailing. Our next section is the gallery slideshow, where we will feature additional inspiration, projects, and great design in the spirit of our Alive collection. Alive, the colors of life, full of possibility. Our next palette is Mantra. Our second palette celebrates minimalism, simplicity, and the beauty of Japanese essentialism. It's time to notice the beauty and simplicity. East meets West in this palette, and both styles have entwined in the most appealing way. Now Nordic simplicity happily engages with the order and elegance of Japanese aesthetics to create a look that is the best of both worlds. With softly muted neutrals that glide from warm to cool, Mantra embraces all that is simple yet utterly essential. Again, we'll start with the macro influences for Mantra: minimalism, serenity, Scandinese, and sanctuary. What is minimalism? If we had to sum it up in a single sentence, we would say minimalism is a tool to rid yourself of life's excesses in favor of focusing on what's important, so you can find happiness, fulfillment, and freedom. For interior design, minimalism strips down to its basic elements, then builds back up again to include only the most basic, functional, and visually calming essentials. As our world continues to grow in complexity, there is a far greater personal demand for many of the benefits that minimalism offers. Minimalism offers a life with less stress, less distraction, more freedom, and more time. Serenity is the new luxury, providing a spiritual respite from the pressures and woes of everyday life. Soothing and tranquil design aesthetics help to ease anxiety, while celestial undertones add a sense of magic and mystique to entice the spiritually minded. Serenity is about cleansing the soul and healing the mind, so interior spaces should soothe and energize simultaneously. Scandinese, sometimes known as Japandi or minimalist Zen, balances a mix of Japanese and Scandinavian cultures, embracing honest authenticity, craftsmanship, and pure living. It celebrates form with function and centers on simplicity, subtlety, and restrained natural beauty. The key to the Scandinese trend is minimalism, keeping interiors simple but functional, derived from a philosophy that makes order a style of thought and a lifestyle by means of decluttering the mind and cleaning and reorganizing the home. It provides a free space for creativity and the pursuit of a truly relaxed environment. Interiors are meticulously tidied and every object has its own purpose, and there is no space for impractical decor. Scandinese styling is pared back using a few carefully considered pieces in appropriate placements. Overwhelmed and seeking calm, we're increasingly creating homes as sanctuaries for peace and quiet. Relaxing elements such as greenery, aroma, and mood lighting are resonating. In the age of wellness, we wish to connect with our inner self and an enhanced physical, mental, and spiritual health environment. We see our homes as sanctuaries of peace and quiet. Therefore, cozy lifestyle concepts such as hygge, lagom, or ikigai will continue in 2020. Mantra's airy color palette creates a calm, serene sense of flow. Classic pastels will shift, feeling pigmented, natural, tactile, and soft. Balance warm and cool neutrals to create a quiet oasis in the midst of our hyperconnected daily lives. Comfort and softness is essential. Use plumped forms, curvaceous outlines, and soft color to create interiors with a focus on unwinding. Nature and its calming landscapes influence the Mantra palette. Natural textures and details translate into refined materials and finishes, such as taupe gray, bespoke beige, cool pinks, and mink brown. There isn't one key color for this collection, but a harmony of soothing hues. Pastels will continue to evolve, becoming more matte and chalky, and less saccharine, as a result of Japanese minimalist influences. In 2020, classic pastels will continue to evolve for interiors as they shift toward chalky, natural finishes that feel tactile and soft. In 21, embrace Japanese styling for serenity. Simple, clean lines, warm neutrals, and airy living space create a sense of calm. Mantra's stories include Jomo, Dreamscapes, Sunday Forever, and Ikigai. JOMO is an acronym for Joy of Missing Out, and it describes the pleasure in taking a break from social activity, especially social media, to enjoy personal time. Wellness spas evolving to include experiences that provide isolation from external and internal noise, as well as holistic therapies designed to bring one's mental and physical and emotional health back into alignment. In New York City at The Well, members can enjoy this complete ecosystem of wellness. With a mindful movement studio, a meditation space, a healing center, private training gym, organic restaurant, vitamin bar, reflexology lounge, and classroom. All are devoted to educating members through conversations and workshops ranging from energy healing to mindfulness. Humans are reactive beings. Therefore, environments should be soothing or stimulated through the use of color, texture, scent, and sound. A new wave of digital artists are designing imaginary, mood-altering environments, providing inspiration for escapist and sensorial spatial design. This concept has been largely pioneered by artist Andre Reisinger, who creates surreal 3D digital dreamscapes. Using Instagram as his platform, these dreamy designs draw inspiration from meditation and are designed to keep the mind still. It's Sunday afternoon, sometime past 4 o'clock. Your bed is a blissful reprieve and quite possibly the warmest, most comfortable place on the earth. Time is irrelevant. Around 5 o'clock, though, something starts to shift. Imperceptibly at first, and then all at once, your relaxed weekend you begins to morph into anxious weekday you. You wish that somehow you could hold this Sunday stillness in the palm of your hands. Well, that's what Ashley Stockton has set out to do. Her brand, Sunday Forever, was created with the vision to encompass treasured self-care rituals, good vibes, and effortless elegance. Sunday Forever's mantra states, taking care of yourself and your most important relationships will help you keep your soul properly nourished. Your Ikigai is at the intersection of what you are good at and what you love doing, says Hector Garcia, the co-author of Ikigai, The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life. Over the years, this has been described using many different words and practices, but always hearkening back to the central core of meaningfulness and life. In fact, the Japanese island of Okinawa, where Ikigai has its origins, is said to be the home to the largest population of centenarians in the world. Uncomplicated, clean, minimalist, and functional, mantra's surfaces are natural and pared back, displaying beauty in the simplicity. Embrace clean lines and simple silhouettes. Play with decluttered surfaces and use a material's natural beauty for statement pieces. Key materials. Mantra's material styling is pared back, utilizing carefully considered finishes, both natural and refined. Key patterns. Textiles are understated and neutral for the Scandinavese trend, with breathable linens and cottons taking center stage. Key shapes. While surfaces play with matte and shiny finishes, shapes embrace clean lines and naturally curved silhouettes. Designs are simple, quiet, and minimalist. As the key material for mantra, we're showing the incredible comeback of cane. It seems like the whole world is obsessed with this 1970s material. Our favorite pieces are modern and Scandi-inspired. Now let's move into the gallery section, where we show more of mantra's inspiration. East meets West. It's love at first sight. This concludes mantra. Next up, play. Our third palette, play, explores how humor and playful design bring joy and happiness to interiors. Tag, you're it. These buoyant colors extend an invitation to jump into the game and have fun. Energetic and clever, this palette packs a lot of charm. Starting with a fresh, pure white, it's peppered with surprising pops of brightness. Its mission is to add humor and warmth to all it touches, and to help us recall that deep down, we're still kids who love to play. Play's influences: escapism, humor, joy, and energy. Escapism is a key influence to watch as a reaction to political and social uncertainty. Consumers are looking for fun, whimsical experiences that take them back to the playful activities of childhood. Museums, water parks, bouncy castles, ball pits, crazy golf, and live puzzle rooms answer the growing desire for kidult leisure. Kidult is where escapism and nostalgia come together, recreating childhood fun for a grown-up-ish audience. Designed experiences are becoming more experimental with color as well. In wellness, Chroma Yoga bathes practitioners in sequences of light, color, scent, and sound, opening up a new spectrum of benefits. In London, Glowy McGlow offers up color that people can literally jump into. The adult ball pit is fitted with 250,000 clear balls on an acid green LED dance floor for a sensory overload that pulls in visitors. Don't worry, be happy. In a time of gloomy global headlines and a rising rate of depression and anxiety, happiness is becoming a focus for self-nurturance and experiential design. Immersive touring exhibitions, like Happy Place, take visitors through different life stages of happiness, such as childhood whimsy and romantic love, with photo-ready rooms filled with marigold flowers, heart-shaped neons, and a pot of gold. New immersive experiences like the Museum of Ice Cream and 29 Rooms focus on colorful and Instagrammable features. As we enter into a new decade, joy and happiness will be integral to well-being. Joyous colors, positive affirmations, and playful podcasts will be used to promote enjoyment for its own sake. Happy is the new healthy. Created by designer Ingrid Fattel-Lee, the Aesthetics of Joy website profiles joy makers and creates joyful visual collections based around keywords such as rainbows or ombre. Fattel-Lee's April 2018 TED Talk on finding joy through design has received more than 870,000 views to date. Go Happy is a similarly practical way to build happy moments into daily routines. The app is designed to make planning group get-togethers easy and regular, to encourage meaningful face-to-face time with loved ones. The podcast Happy Place features inspiring stories from celebrities and influencers on what happiness means to them. As rates of stress and anxiety rise among students, new university courses are teaching applied happiness. Yale University's wildly popular new course, Psychology and the Good Life, focuses on how to enact positive behavioral change. In 2020, we'll be done with the mundane and seeking out joy, fun, and celebration. We'll find fantasy in the everyday and take pleasure in our flaws. This flawful attitude can already be seen in beauty, where artists and bloggers highlight the beauty of their imperfections to challenge stereotypes. Artists turn stretch marks into rainbows, make acne into cosmic-themed constellation, and dye eyebrows in bright and beautiful colors. In LA, a new workout called Pony Sweat is a raucous mix of aerobic and body positivity, described as a dance class that feels like dancing in your bedroom. Instagram accounts such as Hapsters promote happiness as a form of self-care, with positive quotes and messaging in comforting millennial pink. Providing an antidote to online news, where negative stories have been proven to receive more clicks than positive stories, upbeat newspapers such as the Happy News and Good Newspaper provide printed pick-me-ups. Bold color is central to the play palette. Vibrant touches of pink, teal, and gold bring urban grays and monochrome neutrals to life, while tinted darks such as Oceanside and Juneberry add a colorful punch. Use contrasting colors to add a sense of fun to everyday items as well as commercial applications. This palette is made for experimenting with a range of highs and lows and warms and colds that can be mixed and mismatched. Combinations come in the form of considered brights paired with more dramatic tones or black and silver gray. Play is at the core of this palette, yet it is not about shock value. It's about celebrating personality and individuality. Clean white, black, and gray provide sophistication and graphic interest to bold interiors. This energy-boosting, flamboyant hue has made its way into our everyday life, perfect for jazzing up one's surroundings. It can be used for details or, in graduated shades as well, to create a total look. Add interest to an interior or add glamour and pizzazz. These pinks are eye-catching, complex, and totally irresistible. Pinks will continue to be important for 2020 for both consumer and commercial color. Soft rose, cerise, coral, and vibrant pink will all cycle into interiors and home decor. As pink's popularity plateaus, tones become more saturated, powdery, and pretty, evolving from mauve's hues of previous seasons. Pinks will begin to downtrend in 2021, now only inhabiting the soft pastel space. Stories: Neon Food, Neo-Bio Play Park, Color Factory, and Lego House. Recipes with Instagram-friendly aesthetics such as mirror or mermaid cakes and other eye-catching rainbow dishes are reinventing how consumers relate to food, with smartphones playing a leading role. The new craze for bioluminescent food, aka neon food, made from 100% natural ingredients, has the food scene buzzing and offers an interesting way to add drama to the meal experience. This new and different sensory experience has not gone unnoticed in food culture, where foodies are always seeking fresh sources of inspiration, creativity, and novelty. The recently completed Neo-Bio Kids restaurant in Shanghai is a pastel-hued world of balloon and cloud shapes that decorate the various activity areas. The goal is to keep kids occupied long before and after they have finished their meals, a notion that parents all over the world appreciate. It's part of the massive Neo-Bio Family Park located in 2 buildings that include a large play center, a party place, a library, and an area for many other kid-friendly activities. Color Factory is a collaborative, interactive exhibit that debuted in San Francisco in August of 2017. What was intended as a month-long run unexpectedly flourished as a celebration of color and creativity that lasted for another 8 sold-out months. In August 2018, a whole new palette came to New York City's Soho Hudson Square neighborhood. Some of our favorite artists, creatives, designers, and makers are teaming up to tell their unique New York color stories in unexpected ways. Lego House was designed by the architectural firm BIG and consists of 21 white bricks stacked on top of each other. Its facade is covered with tiles, giving the illusion that the whole building is made of Lego bricks. Upon exploring, you'll find 3 restaurants, a Lego store, a conference room, and an experience zone. The experience zones are based on 4 different colors, each representing a special aspect of play and learning. Red is for creative skills, blue is for cognitive skills, green is for social skills, and yellow is for emotion. Each color zone has a number of activities that encourage visitors to play. Designs are imaginative, inventive, and playful, with a focus on joy and pleasure. Maximalism aesthetics come together with celebratory glitz and glamour. Taking a playful approach, happiness and hedonism are key areas of focus, giving spaces, products, and experiences a fun, free attitude. Key materials. Play celebrates individuality, self-expression, and creativity. Patterns are imaginative, inventive, and playful, with a focus on joy and pleasure. Key pattern. Geometrics evolve with designs that range from minimalist grids to artful statement places and Bauhaus-style motifs. Scale is important, as well as structure and oversized pattern. Key shape. Tubular formations and inflated shapes bring a playful and comforting quality to design. The key material for play is terrazzo. In case you haven't heard, terrazzo is back, and it's more stylish than ever. Terrazzo has become a key material in design, coming off the floor, to also be used across tabletop surfaces, furniture, lighting, and decorative accessories. Terrazzo is made from specks of marble, granite, and glass, and other mixed materials with a binder. Today's terrazzo has a wide variety of color and sizes that make the specks of materials more chunky and bold. The trend has inspired terrazzo lookalikes, such as wallpaper and pottery, too. Some colors have all the fun. This concludes our play palette. Next up, Haven. Having a place of sanctuary is very important for mental well-being. No matter what happens in the outside world, there needs to always be a place for you to balance out and recharge. Like being welcomed with open arms, this palette beckons to those seeking an oasis. Inspired by Earth's seasonal cycles, it features richly subtle shades of sea, sand, forest, and sky. An innate reminder that sometimes real beauty lies in the spaces outside the lines, and calm comes from knowing perfect isn't the only way to be. Haven's influences: simplicity, wabi-sabi, conservation, and material health. Dwayne Elgin popularized the term voluntary simplicity as a characterization of the modern simplicity movement. To live voluntarily is to live conscientiously and deliberately. In short, voluntary simplicity is outwardly more simple and inwardly more rich. The simplicity trend mirrors the new spirit of deceleration, a more conscious lifestyle, and reflection on the important things. We live in a world that constantly strives for perfection in all aspects of life. Perfect home, perfect family, perfect job. However, many believe that if we all just paid a little more attention to the ancient Japanese philosophy of wabi-sabi, we could free ourselves of the need for a picture-perfect life. Wabi-sabi involves grounding oneself by forming a deep connection to the earth and enjoying the simple pleasures of life. Above all, it centers on recognizing the importance of authenticity. For some, wabi-sabi is more of a guiding principle than a design trend. It's about accepting things as they are rather than spending your time wishing for something better. Conservation is a key influence for Haven. We all understand that in order to survive, we need to focus on sustainability at an environmental, social, and economic level. Globally, water conservation is at the top of that list. All life needs water. It's the world's most precious resource, fueling everything from the food you eat, to the cotton you wear, to the energy you depend on every day. Designers are hard at work in conservation efforts, harvesting ocean plastic and repurposing waste into furniture, accessories, and even full-service restaurants like the Zero Waste Bistro, which is made from recycled food packaging, repurposed natural waste, and shells made into solid materials. Bethan Gray has teamed up with materials company Nature Squared for her Exploring Eden collection of furniture and accessories, using waste shells and feathers from fishing and farming. The healthy homes movement might be an emerging trend in the design field, but the concept of products and designs that can help improve indoor air quality are not new to the industry. In the 1970s, the Environmental Protection Agency passed the Clean Air Act, which had a goal of improved air quality. Even with the Clean Air Act, there have been problem products resulting in health complications for those who have had those products installed in their homes. A recent example was a laminate flooring sold by a retailer that contained dangerous levels of formaldehyde. Flash forward to 2016 and the implementation of LEED v4. This is a green building certification process used in commercial buildings as well as homes. LEED had originally been focused on sustainable building practices, where V4 also focuses on the health and well-being of those who live and work in the space. Future goals should be specifying products to reduce exposure to toxic materials and improve health, finding healthier material alternatives, and working with manufacturers to drive product innovation. Haven showcases the subtle tones of landscapes. Clean, earthy, and tactile, these hues celebrate beauty from earth to sky. Evergreens evoke a connection with the earth and work well as grounding tones. This color mix palette is inspired by the Horizon line, where sky meets earth. Browns and camo greens are combined with the intensity of acid yellow and balanced by white. This palette is particularly harmonious for wood and other natural surfaces. Bring the outdoors in with indoor gardening, abundant greenery, and designs that celebrate the power of nature and the fertile interior. We will seek to make our lifestyles more entwined with nature and the outdoors, drawing inspiration from natural color and rhythms. For 2020, evergreens evoke a connection with the earth and work well as grounding tones. For 21, cedar and camping-inspired fir green have a rich, loamy quality. Stories: Cabin of Curiosities, Care for Milk, House Zero, and Sustainability Treehouse. The 3D printed Cabin of Curiosities is a research project exploring the architectural possibilities of upcycling 3D printed claddings as a response to 21st century housing needs. The front facade has been described as a box of exquisite chocolates, comprised of a number of planter tile shapes to create a living wall of succulents, naturally thriving in the Northern California climate. Several different materials are used, including shades of Portland cement, sawdust, and Chardonnay pomace. The Care for Milk project is an attempt to reclaim the way milk used to be valued prior to its mega-industrialization. Artist Ekaterina Semenova explores the effects of different dairy products and waste when used as a glaze on ceramics, which makes the clay both more durable and waterproof. Overproduction and continuous price drops have seen our appreciation of milk sink to an all-time low. Care for Milk wants to reclaim the value of this characteristic Dutch dairy product. Focusing on waste reduction, Semenova collects leftovers from neighborhood households to experiment with new uses. Taking the advice from old Russian craftsmen, she applies it to ceramics. By dipping earthenware into different dairy products, various shades of silky brown appear after baking. Depending on the type and fatness of the milk, she can achieve different color results. The Harvard Center for Green Building and Cities created House Zero, an ambitious living laboratory and an energy-positive prototype that will help us to understand buildings in a new way. The design of House Zero has been driven by ambitious performance targets, including zero energy for heating and cooling, zero electric lighting during the day, operating with 100% natural ventilation, and producing zero carbon emissions. The building is intended to produce more energy over its lifetime than was used to renovate it and throughout its subsequent operation. The Boy Scouts of America made conservation a stronger focus of the organization by introducing a new sustainability merit badge and opening an educational center in the 10,000-acre Summit Bechtel Reserve in West Virginia. Using the Living Building Challenge as a guide, Seattle-based architecture firm Mithun spearheaded a multidisciplinary team to create a treehouse that would turn lessons into an adventure. Visitors learn about energy and water conservation as they climb outdoor staircases that lead from the forest floor to the 125-foot-high rooftop rising above the leaf canopy. 2020 will see the emergence of bio and organic-based alternatives for everything from beauty products to leather and meat. Nature inspires shapes, textures, and motifs across all surface and material. Key materials. Imperfection is embraced through aged surfaces, handicraft, and well-worn settings. Inspired by the Japanese art of kintsugi, flaws and cracks in hard materials such as ceramic, stone, and concrete are filled with precious gold, while wooden textiles follow the wabi-sabi principle of finding beauty in repair. Key patterns. Sustainability is central in this trend, which celebrates the imperfection of handicraft and champions repair as a way to extend the product life cycle. Look to natural motifs to heavily influence pattern. Key shapes. Designs will celebrate the flaws of products that are carefully crafted and well-worn. From mold-powered batteries to mushrooms capable of recovering rare elements from waste, innovative applications of mycelium are paving the way to a more sustainable material future. Our next section is the gallery slideshow, where we feature additional inspiration for Haven. We hope you have enjoyed Haven, an oasis of earthly tones which welcome you with open arms. Our final palette, Heart, is up next. And now, here is my secret, a very simple secret. It is only with heart that one can see rightly. A confluence of genres and emotions permeate this palette. It's a unique fusion of iconic modern design mixed with an intergenerational boho vibe. The result is a collection of colors that harmonize amazingly well. From silky earth tones to clove and soft coral, these 9 colors are a meditation on comfort, connection, and the pleasures found in the everyday. Heart influences: Bauhaus, Bohemian, Fusion, and Humanity. The Bauhaus movement teaches truth to materials as a core tenet, which means that materials should be used in the most appropriate and honest form, and its nature should not be changed. For example, supportive materials such as steel should be exposed and not hidden within the interior framework of a piece. This celebration of Bauhaus style emerges as a key influence in 2020, with modern renditions of simple symbols and graphics which were originally explored in the School of Art. The modern Bauhaus direction is softer and more muted, as blocks and geometric shapes layer and intersect using finely patterned texture and muted color palettes. Zeitgeist translates from German into English as the spirit of the age, and it was this experimental and collaborative spirit that epitomized the Bauhaus. Despite being a school for only 14 years, the impressive amount of designs that came out of the Bauhaus prove its lasting legacy. Bohemian design today is about incorporating many different things from different philosophies, parts of the world, and ways of life. The result is an eclectic style that's as diverse as the people who inspire it. A new vein of Bohemian style is muted and minimal and shows the neutral palette featured in Heart. The key takeaway is to spread tradition, whether you look close to home or far away for inspiration. Childhoods rooted in the post-9/11 world and global recession, combined with a lifelong connection to technology, have helped to make Gen Z the most tolerant demographic within a new era of blended identities, where race, gender, religious beliefs, socioeconomic status, and ethnicity are increasingly blurred. As traditional identifiers collapse at accelerated rates, many Gen Zers identify as pluralists, a person who believes that the existence of different types of people, beliefs, and opinions within a society is a good thing. The future potential client for interior design services is changing. Designers will need to develop multicultural approaches to their work and their businesses, including embracing a broader range of styles and aesthetic preferences, understanding cultural traditions and sensitivities, and having a more diverse staff. Recent powerful social movements toward human inclusion and a body-positive society have shown a marked shift in mainstream perception of what it means to be perfect. Skin that was once seen as imperfect is now being celebrated. Design, too, is following suit and has long considered the body in an ergonomic way. New forms are evolving to take on human-like characteristics, from stylized ceramics, which represent human portraiture, to lumpy vessels, which were designed to champion body diversity. Each new project creates an inclusive environment in which people feel empowered and confident to love themselves as well as comfortable in their own skin. The Heart palette has a comforting, earthy quality, with emphasis on muted midtones such as beige, brown, soft moss, and coral. The poetry of process will inform designs with material narratives that highlight sustainability. Find inspiration in natural elements, the colors of raw materials, from ancient natural fibers to modern bio-grown building bricks, inspiring a muted color palette. Bone and beige, as well as ivory and sand, feel sophisticated and natural and offer a more elevated take on sustainable design. The look here is untreated, contemporary, and casually elegant. The imperfections of nature inspired textured and tactile surfaces. Simple and functional designs still have a decorative appeal with rounded volumes, delicate details, and a palette of muted pastels and tinted neutrals. For 2020, neutral tones have a textured, natural quality that feels sophisticated. For 21, matte and natural finishes suggest untreated surfaces, which play into the greater focus on sustainable design. For Heart, we'll talk about the XYZ Lounge, Form Us with Love, Whittle Away, and You See a Sheep. The XYZ Lounge has been conceived as a space offering a new form of physicality and identity, a space of convergence and interaction where temporary is suspended. The marble, the stucco, and fabric, all clean materials, stage an in-between space, sort of an envelope of duality, both familiar and unfamiliar. Reclaimed wood chips and recycled plastic were both used to create this IKEA chair, designed by Swedish studio Form Us with Love. Called Ager, the chair is a result of a 3-year-long project exploring how sustainable composite material could be used to create an affordable seat. It is made through a process of injection molding using a mixture that's 70% polypropylene and 30% wood chips. The chips all come from reclaimed wood, while recycled plastic is favored over so-called virgin plastic. Form Us with Love saw sustainability as just one of 5 qualities that the chair should achieve, along with simplicity, comfort, affordability, and beauty. As a result, they worked with IKEA to produce hundreds of prototypes before finalizing the design. Stoft Studio is a Swedish design studio where a trio of designers merging their talents to create a body of process-driven work. Their latest is Whittle Away, 2 cabinets with the outermost layer peeling away, much like the top layer of paint peeling or bark from a tree. When the outer skin peels away, it unveils something fresh and new, something that hasn't been exposed to the environment. Thin layers of wood coil up and reveal colorful wooden panels that were inspired by the crafts that the designer's grandparents' generation were known for. The happy colors are paired with minimalist vertical stripes of unfinished pine wood for a joint result of opposites, a sort of ambiguous DNA. And finally, you see a sheep. The composition consists of 24 shells of ceramic mixed with paper fiber to reinforce and lighten the surface. The wet clay is hand-coiled into organic shapes, then randomly dispersed apertures are carved and colored clay is applied, and it's off to the kiln. Once electrified and suspended on 15-foot-high steel wires, the luminous elements signify dwellings. Nishikawa describes the installation as a dreamy, immersive environment, just like its inspiration, The Little Prince. Hart elevates humanity of design, putting forward a sustainable, long-lasting approach to interiors. Products are refined, ethical, and nourishing, while lifestyles center on low-waste, eco-friendly choices and slowed-down experiences. For surface and materials, the making process will become as important as the final product, and value will be added through meaning and storytelling, with products that incorporate poetic and personal narratives. For pattern, Hart plays on nostalgia to give products a sense of familiarity. Designers and makers take the best of the past to inform the future, updating simple, sometimes retro shapes and raw colors to produce new materials and finishes. Key shapes. Ecological resins from plants such as thistle and artichoke will be used for molded furniture, while handmade eco-papers, surface veneers, tiles, and cladding materials will make use of everything from fruit skins and corn husks to eggshells and stones. And the key material for Hart is cork. For centuries, the bark of the Quercus suber has been used to seal wine and create everyday objects. Harvested from the tree native to the Mediterranean region, cork is seeing a resurgence as designers gravitate towards its natural beauty and sustainability. And now let's move into the gallery section where we show more of Hart's inspiration. We hope you enjoyed Heart, harmonizing hues that sing to the soul. This concludes the presentation of Color Mix Forecast 2020. We hope you have been inspired by the presentation. The next decade promises a time of exciting change, and we hope color in balance.